Right, a 1-1 draw against and the mid-table class against Daisy-Hill. Can you just give me your thoughts on the game, please?
Yeah, I think to be fair, probably a draw was a fair result. Certainly, I don't think we've done enough to win the game today. And it's probably a little bit disappointing that it was a game we were looking to hopefully get the points from. But like I've just said to the players in there, if the old adage, if you can't win the game, then make sure you don't lose the game. And maybe a little bit fortuitous with a penalty at the end, but Kirby stuck it away well, and we've taken a point.
Yeah, but do you feel like going on the side of Daisy-Hill? Of course, they were having a massive argument with the referee. Do you think the pen was justified?
Well, from our angle, I can't really see whether it's a penalty or it's not a penalty. Like I said to the before, I thought it was a little bit fortuitous. There didn't seem to be too many claims from us initially, but equally as well, there wasn't too many moans from them. But obviously, we'll have a look back. There's nothing, it's not going to affect the game now because obviously he's given it and we've scored from the penalty. So sometimes you take that bit of luck, but I think if it had been given against us, I would have felt it was a little bit harsh.
Apart from, of course, the penalty decision, it really felt like a mid-table clash, didn't it?
Yeah, he did. And to be fair, that's probably about where we're at the moment. We got off to a really good start this season. It's petered out a little bit, but like I've said all along, the start I felt we got off to was on the back of defensive displays. We need to be a little bit more ruthless in that final third, and that's not just down to one or two people. That's down to us as a team. And I'm talking about sort of corners, set pieces, throw-ins when we get those in that final third. We've got to look to create a little bit more. Obviously, some of our creative players are out at the moment. We've got a team that, especially in the midfield area, where we've got a lot of similar players that are sort of very head-down ratters. We probably haven't got that sort of technicality in the final third that we'd like, and someone that can unlock the door. Obviously, we'd hoped Foley was going to be that answer to us, but Foley's been struggling with a bit of a knock that he got in training. As a consequence, Foley had to come off at half-time as well, so we're having to reshuffle. We had to reshuffle early with Mbarko coming off, after missing last week. So it just seems that at the moment it seems to be the curse of the centre half, really, because that's a position that we just keep chopping and changing.
Yeah, like you mentioned with Mbarko being injured, do you have any news currently on that situation?
Well, it's an ankle injury. He was hoping that he was probably going to be able to run it off in the game. He wasn't. He couldn't kick the ball. He's been walking very gingerly throughout the game, and obviously he's had a lot of ice on it. So we're just going to have to monitor him, see how he is Tuesday. But I think he's probably looking a little bit touch and go for the next game, really, that he will be fit.
Yeah, but you have got to hope now the injury crisis of sorts doesn't keep on coming and evolving.
Well, that's football, though, isn't it, Luke? There's nothing you can do about injuries, unfortunately. It's all part and parcel of the game. We do seem to be picking up a lot at the moment, so hopefully once we can get the players back, we've had our share of injuries for the season. But like I say, that's part and parcel of it. We've got to do that. I thought Owen Williamson did really well when he came on at centre half there, and Owen's a player that can adapt to multiple positions, and he showed that versatility again today. Yeah,
but how are you going to now going into next week, maybe changing things around from, of course, what you've seen today and in previous weeks?
Well, there's not a lot we can do, Luke, is there, unless we bring players in. It's not easy to bring players in. We're always looking to try and strengthen the squad and bring players in, but at the moment the squad's what we've got. There are areas we would like to strengthen, and we'll be working on it again actively this week, but we've just got to try and work out different systems. We tried a little different system today, because we didn't have enough natural wide players out there, so we played Towney and Foley a little bit more introverted in the midfield there. But yeah, we're just going to have to work with what we've got. We're just going to have to work our way through it and hope the injury crisis sorts itself out.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that of course you brought on George Kelly at the half-time mark. Was that to make a positive impact more going forward?
No, that was purely because Foley was injured. So, we had to make that change. Foley was really struggling, so we had to make it. GKL was a bit unlucky, but again, we were replacing a creative player with one that's a little bit more defensive-minded, which wasn't something we really wanted to do. But we pushed Mark Oban a little bit further forward in the second half, and I thought Mark made a positive impact in that final third.
Final one, Roy. What's your thoughts going into next week?
Well, we'll be back down training on Tuesday, assess all the injury situation. Like I said, we will look to try and strengthen the squad. But again, I keep saying it's not easy. But yeah, we've got to look forward to it. But at the end of the day, we're playing quite well. The lads are working hard. We've not really had the rub of the green over the last few weeks, I don't feel. But defensively, I thought, again, we look strong. At this level, it's difficult to keep clean sheets, but we're limiting teams with the chances. I don't think Brad's really had too much to do today again. So we'll just play on the positives, we'll work on things, and hopefully we can get a positive result away at Squires Gate next Saturday.
Thanks for your time, Roy.
Cheers, Luke.